Today I'm going to demonstrate how to clean a Northern Pike. So for the last 11 years I never knew how, and now I'm going to demonstrate. I learned this trip. I'm going to show how to clean a Northern Pike. There's a lot of meat on a Northern, but a Northern has a Y bone, which is a very, it's too big of a bone to fry, and you'll bite into it and then you'll get bones stuck in your throat. They don't get stuck, but it's too bony to just fillet like a bass or a crappie. So today I'm going to show you how I fillet a Northern Pike, and I have a electric fillet knife and a manual, and the manual will come in getting the Y bone out itself, and the electric is more so for the fillets. But it's really easy. So my fish is done. This is about a 24-inch Northern Pike. Typically, just for the sake of getting more meat, because you do cut out a little section of the main fillet where the Y bone is. So a good size keeper pike is anywhere from 24 to 28 inches. At least on this lake, that's about the slot that you can keep them. So yeah, it's really not too bad once you get a hang of it. I'll take you guys through the steps, and in case you ever clean some pike, there's a lot of meat on these fish. First I start with my electric knife, and I'm going to come under the fish. And these two fins right here I call the bat wings. I'm going to take my fillet knife, and I just kind of cut through the belly. And then kind of cut it up. There's a little bone connected with that, and you're just going to kind of grab hold. And then you cut out your bat wings. So throw that in the gut bucket. And you're going to take your fish, you're going to flip it over. You're going to cut this way, all the way back to the end here. And then you're going to come to the front. And you're going to cut all the way up this way, in between the fins. And from there, it's pretty easy. You just take your knife, you fillet it like a bass or a crappie. I go down, I get that. Slap that on top, drag down the backbone, nothing crazy. And now you're gonna cut it off the tail, and you want to leave the skin on. So there's one. Let's see if I can do the other one as good as I did this one. Come down this way. Try to ride the backbone best you can. Looks pretty decent. Okay, not terrible. I missed a little bit in the middle. That, and you're stuck with two fillets. Now for learning and for being new, like I said, I just learned this week. I'm getting a lot better at it. I like to clean my fillets so I can really see the Y bone and everything I need to do. So I kind of get them a little cleaned up. This one's definitely the better one. Okay, now if you look real close, we'll do this one first. If you look real close, you can see the little bones right here. These are the base of the Y, and if you run your finger across it, there's little, it's almost like little toothpicks. And now these bones sit in this meat at an angle like this. So when they sit, they pretty much go down to the back skin. So this is where I'm gonna take my manual knife. And actually the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out the ribs. So I'm gonna take my knife, I'm gonna go under, and I just kind of get them started. Again, there's probably people that are way more skilled at this than me, but making a video that makes sense for me and maybe somebody else. And you just get that knife underneath those ribs, and you can actually save quite a bit of meat under there. There's that. That's all good. No bone there. Just gonna take my tip, work it in slow. I get a little tougher up towards the top, but just kind of cut her down. A good sharp knife goes a long way. Just sharpen this one up, so it's making a huge difference. Okay. Right there, I can feel I got all of the rib bones out of that fillet. And right here is what you're left with, just the rib cage. Saved a lot of meat by cutting underneath of it. Okay, so now the next part is I flip the back. This would have been the top part of the fish. So I flip it towards me, and you gotta find this pin-like Y bone. Okay? And you're gonna come in, do this backwards so you can see a little better. This is where it's important. You want your knife angle pretty much to be perpendicular with the flat table. And you're going to be about 1/8 of an inch away from that bone on this side. So I'm going to start cutting, and you just slowly start to make that crease. And I like to just kind of pinch it. Now what's going to happen is you're going to get a good... It's going to be like on this side too, okay? Come down. Just kind of, and you don't want to push real hard because you'll slice that Y bone. So you just kind of come through, make a cut. Now this Y bone runs pretty far down the tail, so it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting bone to say the least. So see, I'm on that side of it. Here we go. That's better. And you'll know you got it whenever you can take your knife tip, and you can just feel down in there. It's like just running along some bones. Now I don't want to cut it. Now here's where it changes. I got it down to here. You're going to take your knife angle, and instead of going from straight up and down, you're going to turn the knife towards you at an angle that follows the bone. So earlier I was cutting to go down to the bone. Now I'm going to change my angle to follow that top part of that bone, and I'm going to cut down toward the skin is, and I'll show you the flap I get from it. So I'm in the groove. I'm starting the cut. And you can really start anywhere, but you just don't want to go through the bones. You want to follow the bone as close as you can. Get through there. Cut, cut. And I still am a firm believer in the bigger the northern, the easier this is. Okay, so now you can kind of see, I'm pretty much down to the skin, and you can see these bones in here, and then that's like the edge of the Y. So you just kind of peel it back. There's the end there. I'm kind of down to the skin, taking that all the way back. It's about there. Okay, now here's the next part. Now you're gonna, I like to kind of start following this line right here. There's a line naturally in the meat, and I just kind of start my knife there, and you want to, instead of the straight up and down to save meat, you want to have your knife angled backwards and kind of slice into it a little bit. Now you should go down to the skin, and if you feel bone, you need to back your knife up a little bit. But right there I feel good. So I'm down, I'm cutting to, at this angle, kind of like going underneath of it. That's how I'm trying to get in there. So there's that. There's that. Underneath. It's looking good. Under there. Come up in here. Watch your fingers. I'm going to kind of cut this top part, get it firm, and then what I have found, once you get that top part freed, these pretty much tear out of there. You just rip, 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 rip. You get a good cut. Every now and again, you got to kind of come back and just kind of touch your knife blade on it, and then that'll pull out to there. You cut that, and you got all the Y bones out. So this is just full of little Y bones. And you can double check your work. Just feel up and down the side. You shouldn't feel anything prickly. But then now, I can go back to my electric. Grab a hold. We're going to have this for lunch here in a minute. And like I said, this is a little 24-inch Northern, but that's a pretty nice fillet. So there's no bones. You can eat it just like anything else. And we really like to taste the Northern Pike. So if you get it yourself, and a mess of northerns, and you want to learn how to clean some northern pike, it's not hard to do, but it does take some time. So you'll have to do quite a few. One night I sat down here and I did 7, and I got a lot better at it as I went along. So if you follow those steps, I think you can be efficient and take the white bone out. It'll take some practice, but when it's all said and done, I mean, that's a good little fillet. So, all right, well, that is how I learned to clean a northern, and hopefully this will help you, and you'll be able to clean some for yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching.